hurt. Of course it did. It always had. But that was the point, right? Why else would you heat up the knife and press it to that annoying little unmarked spot on your inner thigh? Your tears rolled down your cheeks as you sat down on the kitchen floor, but you were still not done yet. You didn't want it to fade quickly this time. You didn't deserve that luxury. You looked up to the ceiling, biting the inside of your cheek so you wouldn't scream, when suddenly, the burning stopped and an annoyingly soothing coolness replaced it. Look down to find your boyfriend kneeling in front of you, knife in one hand while gently placing the other over your burnt skin and carefully activating his quirk. The look on his face said it all. His usual calm and relaxed expression was taken over by a pained one. You've been doing good for a while. That's what you thought. But in reality, you had been stifling your pain and urges deep within yourself until you finally burst that evening. When did he get home anyway? Apparently you had been absorbed into your task, and you hadn't noticed anything else around you. He threw the knife away and cupped your cheek, eyes searching yours for an answer. But what answer was he expecting? What were you supposed to say? You felt horrible, and that's the only thing you were certain of. The look he had on his face tortured you. He was hurt, worried, scared even. And it's all because of you. The look he had on his face reminded you of the first time he saw your self-inflicted burn marks. His expression brought back the memory of the promise you once made. The promise to never hurt yourself again. But at the time, you only gave him your word because you hated the look he had on his face. It's a full circle, and now you're back exactly where you didn't want to be. Shouto.
Are you okay? Let's take you to the hospital first. We'll talk later.
He could finally find his words. No need. I'm fine. You didn't even deserve to be treated. That's what you kept thinking.
Don't argue with me. We're going.
It might have sounded like he was mad at you. But truth be told, he was just worried.
Angel, it'll be fine. Trust me.
He knew he had to reassure you and pull you back to him, because at that point, you were lost. Your tears suddenly stopped, and a gleam of hope appeared in your eyes instead. You hugged him tightly and allowed him to carry you outside. This time, you will take his hand and never let go again.
I love you, Angel, and we'll get through this together.
You were doing it again. You knew it was bad, and you knew you could die. But at that moment, none of it mattered. Not even him. All you wanted was a minute of peace, a good night's sleep, accomplishing a task without spiraling out of control. You winced as the needle finally pricked your skin for the first time in months, and you regretted it as soon as it did. What am I doing? Your trembling voice spoke to no one in particular, before your tears followed suit. Fortunately, not a drop of that intoxicating liquid left the syringe as you immediately pulled it out of you and threw it away. You dropped to your knees sobbing and whimpering and calling his name, but he wasn't home yet. He didn't know what was happening. You reached out a shaky hand and grabbed your phone, dialing your boyfriend's number.
Hey there, kitty. I'm on my way home. I'll be there in a couple of minutes.
But you didn't answer, and all he could hear was sniffling and more whimpering.
Stay with me, kitty. Don't hang up the phone. I'm almost there.
His tone changed as he knew instantly what was happening. He feared the worst since you almost lost your life last time. You did as asked and held the phone to your ear, but still said nothing. Your tears kept flowing and you could tell he was rushing to get to you by the heavy breathing from his side. It couldn't have taken him more than a few minutes before he burst through the door and straight to you.
Kitty, look at me. You recognize me? Show me your arm. Fuck. I need to call an ambulance first.
He was panicking, and the idea of possibly losing you fogged up his brain. No, I didn't do it. I almost did, but I stopped last second. I'm sorry. I'm always causing trouble. You struggled to speak between your sobs, but you were grateful you did, as your words cooled him down a little. He turned around to where you had tossed the syringe earlier, and sure enough, it was unused.
Hey, look at me, Kitty. You're strong. You're amazing. I mean, look at you. You could have easily done it, but you didn't. I'm proud of you. So thank you for stopping.
You couldn't believe your ears. He wasn't mad or disappointed. He was actually pleased with you. But Hitoshi, how can you say that? Look what I've almost done!
Almost. But you didn't. And you want to know why? It's because, deep down, you didn't want to go back down that road. That's why I'm proud of you. And that's why I'll walk hand in hand with you. Until you're completely over this.
You couldn't stop your tears after that. But it was fine. You were finally happy to know that you're on the right way. And with the right person.
What's that?
He asked as he noticed the new band-aid on your wrist. Oh, nothing. I just broke a glass yesterday and injured myself while cleaning the mess. You nervously responded and instinctively hid your hand behind your back. But he wasn't stupid. He knew what it was. He'd seen it before. Only, he thought it was over already. He thought you were finally doing better. He gently took your hand in his and traced the covered area before speaking.
Tell me the truth. You promised you'd always tell me the truth.
You flinched, realizing that lying would get you nowhere. He didn't deserve that from you. He was the one who pulled you out of the abyss the first time, and you promised you'd always go back to him. But there you were, relapsing and lying about it. It's useless. I really tried, but I'm too weak. Shame and regret washed over you, and again, you felt worthless. You braced yourself, expecting him to get up and leave, or even get mad and start yelling at you. But what he did next left you wide-eyed and speechless. He lifted your wrist and gently kissed your covered wound. His lips lingered there for a minute, and it looked like he was struggling to find the right words. Tears started forming in your eyes, and you blinked them away. Kowalski. That was all you could utter without sobbing. And it was as if hearing his own name snapped him back to reality, and he could finally speak again.
It's all right. I'm not mad.
You knew exactly what you were thinking.
Listen to me. You're stronger than this. It's fine to lose track sometimes. It happens to the best of us. But don't keep it in.
His fingers caressed your cheeks as he gently wiped your tears away.
Trust me. Talk to me, and I'll always listen. I know this is probably the last thing you want to hear, but you're not just hurting yourself. You're hurting me too. You're killing me.
His words came out strangled, as if he was trying to keep his own tears at bay. And he was right. Those were the last words you wanted to hear, but he had to say them, and you needed to know what your actions were causing you both. You clung to him desperately and apologized repeatedly. "I'm sorry, Kowalski. I'm begging you. I'll do better. And I'll never keep anything from you anymore. Please, believe me." His words were a wake-up call, and you wanted him to realize that you will never give up easily, that you'll try your best.
I believe you, teddy bear. And I'll be right by your side the whole way.
He pulled you impossibly close to himself, and you were grateful to finally hear him sigh in relief. It will be hard. That much is true. But you're not alone anymore. It's itchy. No matter how hard you try to ignore it, the itchiness never goes away. You stood in front of your bathroom mirror, watching your scarred arms and tracing them with your fingertips. You tried to stop, truly. And for a little while, you managed to control yourself. But it was hard to carry on. The itchiness is the worst. And all you wanted to do was make it go away. You picked up the knife again and ran the cool metal along your arms. It felt good. Horrible as that might sound. The anticipation of what was coming sent shivers down your spine. For a moment. Just a single moment. You get to feel better. To breathe freely before going back to hating yourself and regretting the whole thing. But you needed that moment. You craved it.
Gummy bear, is everything okay? You've been in there for a while.
The all too familiar voice of your worried boyfriend came from the other side of the door. He knows you. Knows your struggles, your pain, and everything you do to chase them away. And that's why he keeps an eye on you at all times. "I'm fine. I'll be out in a minute." You tried to sound cheerful as you pushed the blade within your skin.
Open the door for me. I'm begging you.
His voice was calm, but he was desperate. You never responded after that. You smiled, watching the red liquid running down your arm and into the sink. All of a sudden, the door flew open as your boyfriend easily broke in, snatching the knife from your trembling hand and throwing it away. And before you could turn around to face him, he picked you up in his arms and ran out straight to your bedroom, where he placed you gently on the bed and proceeded to treat your injury. Thankfully, he got to you in time, as it was just a shallow cut.
It's gonna be okay. I gotcha.
He was frightened, you could tell, and as much as he tried to hide it, he simply couldn't. He never blamed you for any of it, never left your side or even thought to do so. "I'm sorry, Taishiro. I tried to stop, but..." You were cut off by your own strangled sobs.
It's alright. You'll be okay. I promise.
He finished treating you quickly and pulled you on his lap, allowing you to cry to your heart's content. He traced your back and kissed the top of your head repeatedly, as he hoped you would feel safer.
I love you. And I'll never leave your side, so please let me in. Talk to me whenever you feel the urge to cut yourself. Don't be afraid. There's nothing we can't overcome together.
He whispered against your temple, and you nodded. You will try your hardest. If not for yourself, then at least for him. He deserves that much. I will. I promise.